Hey everybody, it's Daasity Dan here, and today I'm going to be walking through the retention performance dashboard. So before we jump into the dashboard, let's just talk about customer segmentation and how that is working in the Daasity app. So on the left-hand side, you can see that we've created at least 6 different types of segments of customers. Your high value customers. So these are people that are your best customers. They purchase the most, they purchase very recently, and people that you want to keep. Then you've got your churning high value customers. Customers that haven't purchased in a while and are at risk of becoming lapsed. Somebody that hasn't purchased in over a year. And so it's really important that you try and re-engage these customers so that you don't lose them. Then we have multi-buyers. People that have purchased twice. Single buyers, people that have purchased once. Lapsed multi and high value customers. So these are people that used to be multi-values or high value customers, but it's been over a year since they've purchased. And then finally, lapsed singles, customers that it's been a year since they purchased and they were one customer and they purchased a single time. So if we think about why this is important, it's really helpful to understand these segments because it allows us to go think about how we're doing from a retention perspective and really taking these customers and trying to make everybody a high value customer. So the first tile that we're going to look at is this month to date retention performance by customer segment. So what Daasity does here is we go and calculate the segment for each customer on the first day of the month. Then we're tracking the sales for each customer in the current month, so you can see what segments are, from a retention or a new customer perspective, are generating the most amount of sales, and if there's things that you may want to do, opportunities that you might have from a retention marketing perspective, where you want to go either target customers or change potentially offers for certain segments to be able to go and try and engage them. So in this example here, we can see that we've had 207 new customers purchase. In the high value customer, there's 8,000 new potential customers in our high value segment, and 385 of them have repurchased, which is about 4%. That's pretty good. And so we know we're effective communicating to our high value customers, but where we have lots of opportunities is maybe our churning high value customers and re-engaging or thinking about a different offer or a different strategy. As our percentage of churning high value customers, we seem to not to be engaging with those people. Let's go down a little bit. And so now we'll see where we can see some different performance trends or get some insight into these different segments. So first and foremost, what is the distribution today of our segments? So we can see we've got a number of lapsed singles, a number of lapsed high value. Here's our high value. So it helps us understand how big each of these segments are and where do we have a lot of opportunity to go and try and target these segments specifically. Secondarily, then we have values or information around average order by customer segments and average days from first to second purchase and average days between orders. This is very helpful because we can, especially on the first to second day and average days between orders, because if it is beyond the amount of time since a segment has purchased, then we may want to go and send a specific type of reminder or re-engagement or offer that tries to incent that customer to purchase. So a great example is, on average, a high value customer takes 74 days to make their second purchase. So if we have a new set of customers and it's been more than 74 days for them to make their second purchase, it would probably be a great idea for us to try and incent that customer through something, through some offer or product or other means to try and get them to make that purchase, because we know that this 74-day period is a significant hurdle or time period for that customer to go make that second purchase. Similar, we can see the same for average days between orders and also sort of the AOV, so we can understand sort of the value. As we scroll down a little bit further, we get into customer movement and historical performance. And this is a significant importance because it helps us understand where our customers have been and where they are today, as well as track the significance of each of those segments into our performance. So on the top right, we see gross sales by customer segment. So we can see where the revenue comes from each month and what type of customers those are within the first day of the month. And so what we see here is high value customers are very significant for our revenue. They generate at least 50% of our revenue. So it's really important for us to make sure that we try and maintain every customer as a high value customer, and especially address the fact that there may be movement from high value customers to churning high value customers or lapsed high value customers. As we go down here into the customer segment by month, last 3 years, now we can see the distribution. And so we know our high value customers are very significant for us in terms of revenue. We see that they're pretty stable or decreasing a little bit in total size of customers. And so it's important for us to really try and avoid these high value customers becoming churning or potentially even lapsed high value up in this other green area. And so we can think about strategy. So we want to make sure that we employ strategies to try and maintain those high value customers as they are today. And the easiest way to go and identify those customers is this chart on the left, which if we were to go explore, we could actually see every individual customer. So what this graph tells us, what we call a sand key, is it shows us on the left side, where was somebody a year ago and where are they today? And this is really important. So if we think about non-customers, a lot of them go to become single buyers. We have a few that become high value, churning high value. So all of the new customers, where do they go? Then we think about our high value customers. So we see a number go churning, a number remain high value, a number remain lapsed. So we may want to think about this group here, this specific group right here, and be able to pull out those specific customers and potentially try and re-engage them. Or maybe it's this group here that used to be high value customers are now in lapsed high values. And we can go and filter and go pull out every single customer in every single one of these unique populations. And this is really important to help us think about not just treating every current customer the same, but really going and segmenting into each of the different types of groups and identifying and targeting them with different messaging, content, product, etc. And then finally, as we scroll down to the bottom, what we see is our month-to-date retention performance details. And this is a section that allows us to see by channel and segment, where are all those customers purchasing? What are the channels that they're coming through? And there's two things that are really important here. First is there a variation across, say, high value customers to single buyers in terms of the channels that they're coming through? And understanding the channel is very important, because what we really want to do is make sure that whenever we're getting a retention order, it's either coming from direct or it's coming through a low cost retention strategy like email or potentially SMS. Here we also see organic search. And so we're doing really well on the high value customers, basically getting them to come directly or potentially through, in this case, maybe potentially a subscription product. And then finally, what we can show, and we've hidden the images for this in your view, you will see the product images, but we are showing the top products that are the retention purchases for each of these segments this month. And that's really interesting. So if I think about my high value customers are purchasing MEM3, but our singles are buying this ESR2. And so if I'm making an offer to all of my customers around a MEM3, I may be creating less engagement of my single customers because they're choosing to buy this product at the highest amount versus other products. And so it's really important that we think about customizing that content to that type of segment. And so this is a great way to go and understand what your different customer segments are buying and what should potentially that content be that they're buying, that you're going to share with those specific customer segments. If you have any questions, please drop us a line. at Daasity.com, at support@Daasity.com. We're here to help, and good luck with all of your retention efforts.